Hey, YouTube Rex and Paul.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is Recast Podcast, episode 5, I want to say, or season 3?
I don't remember.
No clue.
I want to say 5, but you'll see the number up on the title. You saw it. We are always off at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the fun fact this week has to do with Ninja Kamui, which we've started filming. And the new series, the director is the guy who actually directed season 1 and Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie.
Oh,
So-
so he didn't do the whole thing. He just did a couple of them.
Yes, but the movie was pretty big. The movie
Yeah,
was
that's
banged
true.
out in like a couple of months, I think. We talked about
Wow.
Yeah.
that. So,
Good movie.
someone was saying it's his passion project, and I believe it. So the series actually is an amalgam of a bunch of people who are very known for their passionate stuff, and the character designer is Takashi Okazaki. My bad for saying that wrong. He's the artist and writer behind Afro Samurai. I can actually see the influence because I've never seen Afro Samurai, but you can kind of tell by the visuals the way it looks. Have you seen it before?
I haven't seen Afro Samurai, no.
Ninja Kamui was specifically written for TV. It's not a manga.
Cool. Okay, so we're
Straight to anime type of
anime
show.
only. Is it gonna
Yes.
be another Akadama Drive?
I think so.
Hit home run. That was hard to say.
Like it just comes out, it says this thing, and then
Yeah.
it moves on. I think so.
Yeah, that's cool. The only thing is that I guess lowering my standards, which is good because it'll give me a chance for it to be blown out of the water. Is people saying that it's nothing more than just a action flick.
Yeah.
Like there's not much depth. So I mean, the first episode, I could see they could go pretty intricate with it if they wanted, especially with all these bad guys. Like, where are they from? What is their reason for just coming out of the woodworks and doing this all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Why are they afraid of our main character? We didn't talk about that in the episode, but I noticed it when I was editing. Or like, is his revenge like going to just be straight up I'm going in and kill everybody? Or like, is there something more to this? Like, how is he gonna get back out? Like, is it a thing like John Wick where you get sucked in, you're in again? Like, or it looks like he never left, but I don't know.
You know, it's funny you say something like John Wick because the guy who directed John Wick actually helped them make the finale of the show.
What? Oh, just the finale? Because I was gonna say John Wick safe.
Well, I do think you can see the influence because I actually checked. The co-producer did an AMA on Reddit, and I checked his responses. He says a big inspiration for the show was John Wick, and I can see it.
Cool,
Yeah, I
We
feel
brought
it.
it up a few times when we were watching it too.
I feel it.
He also mentioned stuff like Ninja Gaiden. I don't think you guys know that video game, but the visuals, very Ninja Gaiden. I can feel that it's a passion project from the way that it's portraying. But one episode in, we don't know how deep it's going to be.
Yeah.
But other than that, what are you feeling about it?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I like, even to be honest, like, even if it's just an action flick, that's some real good action.
It's really
Yeah.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
Yes.
done.
I like me some action flick.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is also kind of a good example of why you need both in terms of story and fighting so far. Which, you know, it's just episode 1, so we don't know how deep it's going to be, so I could be completely wrong about this. But I do see the difference between where I saw, like, Jujutsu Kaisen's first couple episodes, and I was immediately hooked on the world and wanted to know more about it. So this, in this world, I'm not really, I want to learn about this world. It's like, it's ninjas, it's fighting, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't feel the hooks yet.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say, no, I want to see more.
Yeah,
You know? I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, I feel light hooks. Like, they're not like JJK for sure, but I feel like these ninja guys, when we first saw them,
Yeah.
like, you guys like immediately were spitballing like aliens, maybe? Why 3 eyes? What's going on? Or are they robots? Like, we were like going on crazy, like, what oh no, they bleed.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're sort of like, what are they? And the Reaper, we heard about that too
Reaper.
in there. So there are a few little hints that are more interesting. But yeah, I agree that it's not super deep hooks, especially because it's so rooted in reality or tropes we know, like go off into the farm and raise a family. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they won't get us, honey.
Yeah.
We're fine. Famous last words.
Unfortunately. But it is still episode 1. I have a feeling by episode 3 we'll be like, yes, give me more. of this.
Yes.
Come
Yeah.
on, give me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure hope so. If I would hate for this level of fighting and prowess at art. Go to waste.
Go to waste.
You know, I also get Kill Bill vibes. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. But
Never watched it at all, except I don't know if this is Kill Bill 2 or something, where the blonde girl,
she's the main character.
she is, but she's not Bill.
No,
She's
trying to
killing
kill
Bill.
Bill.
Yes.
All right.
That's
So
how-
Bill's her husband.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. The only thing
Former
I remember,
love.
the only thing I remember is mom always telling me this story. She used it as an analogy for life. It's like, I remember when she was paralyzed and all she did was focus on that big toe, move that big toe. And that's basically how she started to get back her feeling in her body. She basically made herself, willed herself into like moving again because she was basically paralyzed. So that's all I know from Kill Bill. She unparalyzed herself.
Unparalyzed.
I remember that movie specifically, and I remember Mom watching that movie because when we were younger, it was one of the times, I think the only time she ever said, I wanted to go see that movie. But obviously we're kids, we can't see the movie, so she went and saw the movie on her own.
Oh, is that what happened?
So that's why she constantly referenced it. It was like the only movie she ever went and saw on her own.
Yeah.
You know?
I never knew that's what happened. I can't believe you remember that, and I don't. I just knew she watched it and always was talking about it.
They released recently, I was been talking about all week how a lot of things are coming back. We are going to get the first visuals for ReZero Season 3. Finally.
Baby! Our trauma baby!
It's happening.
See this? You can get a zoom out visual right there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we
things
did-
weren't in a good place.
We did have weird flashbacks or forwards or side flashes
Yeah.
of the mansion, what looked like the mansion destroyed.
Yes, I remember that.
And somebody was under the rubble, I think.
But no, in the season, the mansion got like messed up. Remember?
Yeah, but it wasn't that kind of mansion, that kind of messed up. It looked like a different kind of messed up.
Oh, but
Because the mansion was on fire last season,
right.
but in the flash to the side, forward, back, wherever it was like the mansion was fine. It just looked like it was destroyed, like not
okay.
on fire.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's been so long I've forgotten the details, but
Yeah.
last thing I remember is they were at some kind of like a ball or dance.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he was being
and-
honored with whatever he was being honored.
yeah, but there was like this undertone of
Yeah. There's
unsettledness.
something off.
Emilia wasn't happy. I remember that. She was like worried about something. So I remember us feeling like we need to be happy, but we can't.
Yeah. And we adopted a little brother.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah. Who likes to say old sayings that make no sense to anybody except him.
Yes.
And he calls Subaru boss.
Yeah. Took a while, but he finally
He came around.
came around.
Dude, it is crazy how often we meet characters that are just vicious murderers and we're friends with them by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happens so many times with his friend group.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking about his mental state must be so compromised.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by friends who
Yeah.
all have murdered. Like Rem was repeatedly killing him for the
Yeah.
longest time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think the only person who didn't kill him was
This
Amelia.
Amelia. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
why
Once
he's
again
in love with her.
explains his attachment.
Yeah. It's like the only one who is not attached to trauma. Except Prance is attached to trauma.
I mean, well, she might have,
After the last season.
but she hasn't killed him, so it's fine.
Has she
yet.
not?
indirectly, if
I was gonna say,
Indirectly,
maybe.
But she wasn't holding the mace like Rem was. Maybe that's why I'm not on Team Rem. Ah.
murder, very high bar.
Very, very high bar to get over there.
But this 24th of March, they're going to be having their own stage in Anime Japan. So a bunch of people are looking forward to doing like watch parties and stuff to see what they reveal there. They're expected to talk about the season, release dates, maybe even a trailer. But as you know, with these presentations, that nothing's guaranteed.
Would we watch any of that though? We'd probably just wait, right?
If it's substantial, I mean, we could probably just, if we want, just watch it. And then if it's something substantial, we could upload it. But yeah, there's nothing. I don't know when it's going to be as well, because it's going to be Japan time, right? So it could be like 5 a.m. or something. But yeah, looking forward to that. I was just talking to them recently, right before I saw this, how every once in a while I think about ReZero. It's one of those shows that come back to my mind. I was like, I want to know what happens next. Yeah, I'd asked you guys what shows are like that, and I don't remember what the responses were. Like shows you think about occasionally. That's been a while, but you want the next piece of it.
Yeah, I think you had said
I
JJK.
said JJK, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like the way you describe how you're every now and then think about it. I don't think about it that often. The only reason I think about it is because of in our Discord, there's somebody named Satoru Gojo who likes to role play as Satoru Gojo. It's like, are you gonna get me out of here? So I just play along sometimes.
Okay. For me, it's Demon Slayer because I'm like, what happens next? Because we just had that last
That
thing with
really
Nezuko,
reveal, yeah.
and then that we saw first Demon Moon guy as well, and we're like,
Yeah.
well, he looks exactly like.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. That's true. Another one that I don't think about that much. It's funny when I think about shows. It's like right after, and it's for like severe.
Yeah.
You know, but it's only for like a period of time, and then I forget it. Unless we're on the weekly grind and we're watching it, then it's like it restarts the cycle. But once it passes, I usually forget about it. So I don't know.
Well, I have good news for you because Demon Slayer, we got a release date.
What release?
Just scroll down real quick. Don't look at this because I've got other stuff. I expected to show it a bit later. All right, so May 12th.
May 12th. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's very close. That's close.
Stone.
Wait,
Another trailer.
release or it is release.
No, release. Yep.
Release.
Oh yes,
date.
because the movie
movie.
came out already,
Yes.
right? And I guess we'll learn soon if the movie is the show.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain
Most
it
likely.
is based on the. I've seen a couple of thumbnails of people talking about it, and they don't seem happy. So
Uh-oh.
I didn't watch it for what it's about, but usually when they're not happy, it's probably just it's the arc or something like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I would be surprised if they break form now when we're
Yeah.
so deep into it.
Yeah. They're like, this is making us money. Let's keep doing it.
So last time we had just, like you said, killed the multiple personality demon and the other one. I don't remember what the other one
What?
was. Remember the one that had like on the tongue?
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
different
yeah,
things?
yeah.
He was with someone else though. What was the other one?
Yeah, the fishbowl guy.
Yes,
Fish
the water
bowl.
guy.
The one that
The
missed.
artist.
He was fighting Mist.
Yeah. And we got a big reveal of Nezuko. Watch our reaction to see if ours react to it.
We shall not talk about any more spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers. But yeah.
So she,
But yeah, a lot of big things happened, and a lot of big like defeats that Muzan's upset about, but not at the same time because of Nezuko.
Yes.
So he's like, he was very angry though. He was like tantruming and killing his family.
he tends to do this.
He tends to do that, apparently. Yes. But we also now have a new friend. Oh, what was his name? Yutaro?
No.
that's
The
other
shotgun guy.
Shotgun guy.
Yeah, shotgun friend,
Don't remember his
who is
name.
actually the brother of one of the
Stone?
other Hashira.
Wind.
Yeah.
This bro.
Is that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That
This guy. This is Stone. This is
Oh, that's
he's under Stone. He's training under Stone right now.
okay. Oh, that's what was confusing. Okay.
But yeah, I'm so excited to see what happens. And also, I keep trying to think about it. I cannot predict what Wynn's reaction is going to be to seeing his brother. I can't imagine what it would be.
I don't know where his head is at all.
Same.
Really.
I think the surprise would be a cold reception because he's so bombastic and like not bombastic, more like fiery. He's fiery personality. So if he was cold, it would be like, oh my gosh, that hurts. So-
Although the only reason I'm wondering about that is because the only time we saw his reaction was when Tanjiro was carrying a demon around, and now that we know his backstory of why he is like convinced himself that this absolutely cannot
it's because
be. That's probably why he was so angry about it.
yeah. He's probably angry at himself.
Probably, yeah. And also he had his brother was the one who
Yelled at him.
shoot him away, basically. So like what's really?
And the other thing I'm very happy about is we didn't lose another Hashira.
Oh yeah, that
Came close, but we didn't.
Very close.
very
We didn't.
close.
We
Mitsuri.
almost lost both of them actually.
Yeah.
Because she was like at the end of her rope apparently too. Although she didn't look that hurt. She was just like, I'm gonna lose.
She got eaten and he died before he could like chew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
We
that's
also
fun.
almost lost our knife, our swordsman.
Oh my gosh.
Hagen
Yes. It has it. Yeah.
Just polishing the sword that whole time.
Yes, he was so committed.
He was being like tortured.
Yeah.
And he didn't move. That is commitment right there.
Yeah.
Hilariously committed. Another thing that's coming back, One Punch Man.
Oh, the good
Oh, is it?
Wait, when?
Which studio?
So this is teaser and same studio. So yeah, I was very excited for a moment, and then I saw the visuals, and I was like, "This looks familiar."
No. So they're keeping up their annoying visuals.
Yeah, season 1 was amazing. Season 2, I understand that season 1 is never coming back because of the circumstances for why
Yeah.
season 1 was made. But we've gotten things like Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
absolutely can be reached with a professional group.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer. It was more of a teaser, like 10 seconds or so. It did look better than season 2, but it's not season 1. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't want to hear any more of those shotgun sounding punches or anything like that.
Okay.
The problem is usually when they start a style, they keep it, but surely they heard the backlash. Surely.
Is that Vegeta?
That
Garu?
yeah.
I was gonna say Garu, but I was like, I want to make a joke instead.
He does give Vegeta vibes. Yeah.
Did we see anything about Garu last season?
Yeah.
We did.
He was taken by the Monster Association because they wanted him to become a monster. He passed out after fighting Silver Fang and Genos at the same time, and his brother. So he's been like leveling up as he's been fighting for so long, and he's at the brink. So I'm very curious what direction he's going to go. I don't know if he wants to be a monster actually, or just wants to represent monsters.
I've sensed myself having some mixed feelings about One Punch Man all of a sudden, because like I enjoy the fights, but I really despise him not getting any praise. I despise it so much.
Yeah.
I despise it. I hate when he doesn't get the respect again.
Oh, it must have been King who did all of this.
Yes. Oh, it was
I
Genos
see.
who's not even denying or accepting at all. He's just looking at you and walking. And was like, oh, it was him. It was him. Like, I despise it. But I love watching him fight and winning. So it's like,
Yeah, it gets old.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was more accessible when it was just such a visual spectacle. And so
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like you notice the flaws more when the action and the visuals aren't as crazy. But, at least in my case. But, yeah.
Yeah.
actually with One Punch Man, I actually got into it before. I don't know if it was before you guys, but before the anime came out. I think I talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to read the manga with my student.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing I could get him to do. Like, he was so easily distracted, and he would just read. She would like show me his comics. I'm like, I'm gonna find a comic for you. And I found One Punch Man. And like even the long like when he was going off about something like random, but he was just like mumbling. Like my student was just like, what is he saying? I want to know. It's so funny, but that's how I ended up getting into One Punch Man. So like sometimes like when I'm watching it, I'm like, I think I remember this bad guy, but I don't think we've watched this before. So why do I remember him?
Yeah, I mean, One Punch Man has got some of the best character design, I think.
Yeah.
He just shotguns out so many different characters, and they all look so unique and interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I guess this is like the best place to like play with character design, don't you think?
Probably.
Because you have like the OP character that can never be beat. So you just make the best character. You can make him as amazing and OP as you want because he'll never be as OP as the protagonist.
I feel like with that the artist is like expressing their artistry with Genos.
Yeah.
Because they can't do anything.
No.
with Mr. Peanut Head over there.
And remember the dramatic style shift that sometimes Saitama just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And other times you just see the cut, his
Yes,
angular jaws,
yes.
his muscles defined. I just love that switch.
It's great.
Same. Especially when it's about something stupid. I need the meat.
There's a sale.
A sale.
Yeah.
Only this Saturday. Something else that's coming very soon is Go Go Lulu Ranger.
Oh yeah, the thing that you
Loser
kept talking about.
Yeah. We had planned to watch it from a long time ago, and it is coming fairly soon. So there's a lot of hype around this show, a lot of expectations. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I think it will do well because the Crunchyroll trailer just had so many views immediately. So a lot of people looking forward to this thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I will prepare myself for the angst.
And
the cringe.
yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, I'm gonna hope against the angst.
Hope against hope.
I don't want the
I
angst.
think he's a little older. I think he's supposed to be like
not
adult.
school age. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's in the Rangers, like
Okay.
Power Rangers. You know?
Is there a girl nearby?
Probably.
Okay.
It's gonna be a Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I see a Pink Ranger right there.
Oh, fun. Which means there's angst. But no, I'm excited for it. I just the title, man. Just the title. But I like the art. Look at this. This looks pretty etchy. Not etchy. Edgy.
Yeah, it's
Edgy
just
is a
very-
different genre.
I know. Not etchy. Edgy.
Edgy.
I like it. I like the style of that. It's very nice. Very nice.
And the other thing is, My Hero Academia is going back May 4th.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, everything is happening in like May and April.
May and April. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a fun year. We gotta finish these shows that we're watching as fast as possible.
Yeah.
That's why I said Ninja Kamui is the last. It has to be the last one that we add.
Yeah, but thankfully that was only 12 episodes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we should be like right on time. I think we checked it.
Yep.
Oh boy, look at this one. Is what season number are we on?
7.
It is 7.
Seventh
So I'm gonna say
season.
it's more dark, more emo Deku,
Although he's a little bit more out of it, you know.
Yeah.
He has friends now.
and his scarf
Slept.
is yellow.
He's eating food. You know.
Has nutrients.
His
Yes.
nutrients. Yeah.
I'm remembering like all the sadness, like the despair. We're going right. We haven't solved that. There's still despair.
Yeah.
Very heavy despair.
But now we're not alone. That's
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
And All Might has all his friends from the other countries are coming over.
Oh yes,
I
including
forgot.
Miss America or something like that.
So,
I don't remember her name.
Her
Mighty-
something Mighty America, something with America in her name. Because he took after her. He went there. That's why all of his power names were named after American things. I think that's how, or it was the other way around.
Well, he did do most of his hero work growing up in America to get away from All for One.
Right. But I remember there was some connection between them. I can't remember if it was him, her,
I
or
know
her, him.
they knew each other, but I don't know if they want to took after the other or if they're just being
Because-
American. You know what I mean?
I guess so. That's true.
America.
And All Might has a really charismatic personality.
Yeah.
So everywhere he goes, people are just gonna like him.
Yeah.
And become friends.
True.
Because I mean, when we saw the cut of all the heroes coming, they were all like worried. They wanted to go help him immediately.
Yeah.
He pulled out his last gamble.
Yeah, honestly,
His last card.
I thought it took way too long for
Yeah.
him calling for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City is destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Near
like,
Civil War.
the moment you hear Shigaraki's name, it's like,
Well, not Shigaraki. Shigaraki's not the issue.
no.
All for one
All
is
for
the
one.
issue.
True. But I guess he's been dealing with All for One by himself for so long. And I guess he had hope in Deku, but it's like, I guess Deku can't handle this. I gotta call in some friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed the last season. I was hoping for even more edgy Deku, but it seems like they're going to try to tone that down. Maybe
No.
with, he has friends.
Yeah.
But
I remember I made a TikTok off that. Remember when I made a TikTok off your like enjoying edgy Deku
Oh,
time?
did you?
Yeah.
Because I forget, like, we were watching the outro, I think. Maybe it was the last episode. And I was like, I miss our friends. It was like, no, I don't.
oh, yes.
You remember that? And no, I forget what I said. It was like, no, let him say it. Edgy Deku.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Yeah. It looks like my guess is that we're probably not going to go back to the old super hopeful, super positive
True.
Deku that we used to be.
Never
He's
again.
been
But
disillusioned.
He's determined.
Yeah.
He played Undertale. He's feeling it. He's determined.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is,
He's
the biggest
grown.
complaint people level against Deku is he's a boring main character, right? Because he's like perfect and all that. So I mean, I never felt that way. Like just like
No,
I
me
don't really
neither.
feel that way about Tanjiro. A lot of people say Tanjiro's a really boring main character, and I understand where they're coming from. And I wouldn't say he's an interesting character, but it's not like a problem for me. Is what
No,
I'm saying.
I like his
Therefore, it's
character,
not a problem for me with Deku.
Yeah.
But he has changed now,
Yeah.
and I like the change. I like him taking things more seriously. I like him getting a bit darker about his movements and the way he's dealing with people. So I don't want him to go back quite yet. I feel like the whole show, they've been dropping hints about how the world is not as good as it's portrayed.
Yeah.
Like the people who are in the Hero Academy, for the most part, everything went right for them. You know, they grew up in the good side of things. They had opportunity. They had good powers, and they went up against people who had none of that. They went up against villains who had tragic backstories.
Yeah.
So now Deku understands that and
Yeah.
is experiencing the pain of what would happen if you abandon people like that. So I think this is character growth.
Yeah.
Even if he's not as chipper anymore, I think this is a more understanding Deku.
Yeah.
And I like that more.
Yeah, more mature.
Yeah.
And he's more savvy of the world around him, which is important for if he's going to be like number one hero like he wants to be.
Yeah.
It makes his words have way more weight than season 1 Deku, who just like, don't be evil because it's bad.
Yeah. Hopeful, running into terror to save his
Yeah.
friend. Like, I feel like he would still do that now, but he'd think about it more. He'd strategize more.
Yeah. And like whereas before his strategies were like all hypothetical. Now he's had
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
I mean, he can surmise about how to use his new powers.
Yes, that's the... He has conversations and things. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just remember that one guy standing in the back of his mind palace, just standing towards the wall.
Yeah, it was two
Yeah.
of
Like
them.
my guy.
Two of them.
They don't want to help. Why are they facing them?
I remember thinking about it, I was like, maybe this is just like a mental representation
I
of
think so.
detachment. Like they're there but they're detached, like I can't leave.
Honestly, that whole mental thing looks horrific to me. Like
Yeah.
these people are like possessed and trapped inside this boy's
Yes.
body, and it doesn't sit right with me.
The funny thing is, they explain that it's not that they're there.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
It's like a copy, not a copy, like a
like the figment of them,
yeah,
basically.
it's not their real essence, but it's like what they would say if they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
don't like-
but it's so real.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so real that it's like they're really there. Yeah. It's-
Impression of their consciousness, basically.
Yeah. But it'd be the same thing like if you copied someone's consciousness into a robot and they're talking to you. You'd feel like it's so real. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I can't throw this robot away.
It's
Yeah.
like that picture from Harry Potter where like there's
Oh
a
yeah,
magic
with his
portrait.
father, yeah.
Well, not of his
Not father?
no. There's like a magic portrait you can do where it basically takes the entire impression of the person you've painted, and they'll talk to you and they'll give you answers of stuff that they know, and it's like pretty much like talking to the person, but the person is not there.
Yeah,
the person
yeah.
is weird. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And the only other thing about My Hero that I think kind of bothers me is I feel like towards the end they started bringing in all the other powers from his other personalities a bit too quickly.
Yeah, I
when they
did
started
kinda feel
introducing it was good, and I felt like we have a pace now. Let's start introducing them. But then, remember they were talking about how he can't use the black whips easily. Then suddenly he's got it under control.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
power, and
Yeah.
now I can't even remember all the powers. I know
Yeah,
he's got
it's
like
true.
food or
I
something
think
he
it's
can
4
store.
of them. Or
Yeah, he
something
can
like that.
store kinetic energy in one body part, and he has the black whip. So those are the only two. He has
Yeah.
float.
Float.
I forgot about float.
And I thought the mist thing was his too.
Mist. He
Yes.
has the mist. That one seems very useless compared to others. I guess they're all utilitarian.
Yeah, that's what they were kind of saying. I think one of them was saying, "No, my power is not that great," but the fact that he can combine everything, that was the point. And they were also saying he can't use them all at once.
Yeah.
He had to like segment, use these two, then use these two, or something like that. But what I was gonna say about that is, it kind of highlights the singularity to me, because remember in the beginning it was like barely some conscious connection that he could barely remember. Then he would have like this long dream, and then he was in the coma and had an entire conversation, and now he's talking to them all the time. And it's kind of speeding up because of the singularity of how it works.
Yeah, I
Everything
think-
is speeding up how quickly he's picking up and doing things. So I think that's what it's highlighting. I think that's why he's like, all of a sudden you can use Black Whip because of that going on. And I think it's just gonna get even faster.
Yeah, I think they did mention that like everything was with the singularity thing was happening faster.
And I remember one guy had a weird power, but he was like training and perfecting it in the woods for 10 years. And
Yes.
eventually his body started breaking down.
Yes.
What was his power?
I don't remember. It was
Like he
something
was
with
cracking.
healing. I think it was the healing guy.
Healing.
I remember he died. He was the one that died early.
I think so.
He died early because his body couldn't handle it, but
Yeah.
Deku could handle it
Yeah.
for some reason. I can't remember.
I only remember he was like in a gi practicing, and then like fissures started showing on his body. Don't remember. But yeah.
I hope they. I was gonna say this about what was the other show that we were getting back into, and I didn't remember much. The other one of the shows you were saying was
That we're talking
coming
about
back.
just now?
I don't think it was My Hero. Yeah,
One
we
Punch
were not One Punch Man. Another one.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
That's not coming back. I'm talking about one coming back this year.
Demon Slayer.
Was it Demon Slayer?
That's the only other one we talked about.
I don't know. I can't remember now. But I was thinking, like, man, what is it? I think it was One Punch Man. Not a flashback.
You need a recap.
A
need a
recap
recap.
would be really useful for like a show like One Punch Man. It's been
Or
gone for
ReZero.
so long. ReZero. I think it was ReZero.
Yeah.
That's the one. Because I'm like, it's been so long. I don't remember. Like, we had some very important problems that we didn't deal with that we need to kind of revisit. A lot of them I remember like dealing with. I can't remember. Manor of the house owner guy. What's his name?
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking
The
about.
funny voice. Yeah.
Roswell.
Roswell. Good job. Roswell's. I remember him and his deal, like what he's going on, where he is at now, his status rather.
Yeah.
I remember Amelia's status. I kind of remember Boss Colin Boy status a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Garrick. Garrett.
Got
Garrett.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Garrett.
I remember a lot more than I think I would remember, but I still think a recap would be useful.
Yes, recap needed.
Please.
Yeah.
Or at least the way they do those things where they they say something.
Yeah, just
but, like,
to tell you.
They restated.
They'll restate it in a way that if you're talking to somebody who
wouldn't.
knows it, you wouldn't say it like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But like for the audience's sake, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that
Thank
would
you.
be good.
And whenever you start an anime or whatever, and they say, "Hey, full name, my dear friend, full name. Let's go do that thing we always do." Foreshadow.
Johnny
Foreshadow.
from that country, because this. I mean, we've had other shows that came back before, and I thought about having us do a recap, and I just always forgot.
Yeah, and I don't think for us to do the recap, I think they need to do the recap. That's what I'm saying. I don't want us have to work. No, their work.
Yeah.
Do our bidding.
You think, I guess there's just in general more of a, because we have several people in our community who, you know, they've got the name changed, they've got the profile picture, they're constantly talking about this one thing, even though the anime is long since gone because they're into the manga and stuff, right? And we've talked about before how like anime used to just in general be advertisement for the manga. So I think there's still kind of a mindset of everybody who's watching this, they're fans,
They're
and they
already
know
in
everything's
it.
happening.
That's true.
But I think in general in the West, we're used to when a season 2 comes around, there usually is like a 5-minute last time.
Yeah.
You know, especially after years pass or something.
Yeah.
So I think like even just 1 minute, quick stills even
Yeah.
of what happened, I think is enough to show, oh, that's what was going on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
since then, I've seen like 30 different animes.
Yeah.
It's not easy to remember all that, you know?
Coddle us.
Yes.
God, alas, yes.
I said Demon Slayer, ReZero. Yes. And yeah. So we've got, we watched a movie. So
Yes.
we recently watched A Silent Voice,
Nope.
and well, I was saying
Oh, both
before
of them. Oh.
before we've seen A Silent Voice, which should be going up by the time you see this a couple of days from now. You should see Silent Voice up on YouTube, and then up on Patreon there will be Your Name.
Yay! It was really
great.
good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was spectacular.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember you asked us in the end of the episode, like, which one we'd prefer between the two. And I told you, I think I need to simmer first.
Yeah.
I think I've
Have
simmered.
you simmered?
I've
Yeah.
simmered.
You've simmered?
Yes.
Mm.
And I think I like Your Name better. But it like you had said, it might just be recency bias. But I think I like Your Name better because I feel like when I remember it, I won't be in pain as much. You know?
Yeah.
But even as I'm thinking about A Silent Voice, emotions of pain don't come back with it. But emotions of joy don't come back either. You know, I'm not like excited. Oh yeah, I'm glad I watched A Silent Voice. I know it was a good movie for watching at the moment, I guess. But I'm not like excited. Your Name, I'm glad I watched it. It was a very interesting way they did the timey-wimey, and I like how they wrapped it up in the end.
Yeah.
You know, they gave us enough. Like, I would have appreciated, I would have liked just like random pictures in the credits.
Yeah.
Just like
Of
of
where
their
they are
afterlife.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like every couple
Their afterlife.
every couple seconds, just a random picture, you know, or something like that. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apart from that, like I'm glad the way they ended it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
nice.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I said as much when I think about Silent Voice. There's just some things that are more realistic that occurred. But if we're talking about Button Up Happily Ever After, I get more warm feelings to Your Name because in general, there's not really anything that's wrong at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas Silent Voice, because of how real it is, there's like friends that don't come back. There's relationships that are just never fixed. The old friend group is never really the same.
Yeah. And then even the
yeah.
tie up at the end was like barely a tie up.
Yeah, they go down to the festival and it felt abrupt.
Yeah.
I wish we got a little bit more. It was a very powerful, emotional scene, and I get why they chose, let's just end it here, you know. But I would have liked to see a little bit more of the wrap-up.
I think I still like A Silent Voice better. They're both really good movies. I enjoyed them. But the thing is, I like them in two different ways because, we had kind of mentioned in the discussion of the discussion of Your Name, I would be able to recommend Your Name easier than I would be able to recommend A Silent Voice, just because the whole vibe of Your Name, it doesn't, it's not like you gotta get ready for this movie, you know what I mean? But A Silent Voice is like, I want to recommend it that anybody at some point watch it, you know what I mean? But I like the whole thing where it's like it leaves me off to figure out what the rest of the story is, because with the way the whole movie was is that like this is a continuing story that we got there was a part in the parts of his life in the beginning that we didn't see, and we kind of walk into it, and then we just kind of walk out of it at the end as well.
Yeah,
it's like life continues, life goes on. You don't tie it, like in life you don't tie up every loose end. Sometimes when you have a big fight with your friends, sometimes you guys get back together, and so other times you don't, you know. So I don't mind the fact that he lost friends and that friend group is never going to be the same, because that actually happens. It's not a weird thing in life. I like those little real life things.
I should clarify, I like those things too, and I praise the show for it. But if I'm thinking about which one leaves me with a better feeling, even though I like the realism in A Silent Voice more for that, I like thinking about Your Name more. Because it's a happier, everything's good ending.
Yeah.
So anytime I think about Your Name, it's like, it's all good.
you're okay. Yeah,
But even though I know Silent Voice is more realistic, and I praise it for that, I gave it an S rating for that, it's still just like, yeah, alright, so that happened. But I don't think I want to revisit that.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think of A Silent Voice as a piece of art.
Yeah.
It's very artistic, and there's so many nuances, so many things you can read into. So if you don't like it's like if you, it's like two different. They are both two pieces of art, but I think of like the Your Name one is more into like a semi-realistic style of art.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy like super realistic look, like to use the literal words of being realistic, the show is really realistic, so that the little imperfections that make it beautiful are there, you know? So if you enjoy that kind of thing, then of course you'd favor it more. Versus like I, as an artist, like a little artist, I like to do semi-realistic better. I like to stylize. I like to fantasize. I like to make it the way I want, not the way life says it has to be. You know? So that's how it feels. Like A Silent Voice, A Silent Voice is life is dictating the truth here. And we're following what life says. But Your Name, we're following our hearts.
Yeah, you're following our hearts.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw someone pointing out that this movie is actually kind of like the culmination of all the movies previously made by this director, because he had like a separation by time in a different movie, he had separation by distance in a different movie, and he had a separation by circumstance in a different movie. And so this movie was kind of him pulling all three together and then giving it the happy ending that some of the other movies didn't get. So and this was the movie that did the best out of all of them. So it's almost like he spent all this time perfecting the craft for each of them to bring them all together.
I love when I hear things like that. I really wonder about the author's like life story, like his mentality, like what made him want to make this particular trope, because it's obviously, you know, it's a love story, but it's all three previous ones were not fun endings, right? They were more,
At least one of them.
Oh, okay. But they were more like they're all kind of a similar thing. They're separation. You know, you have to overcome the separation by whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then he just really enjoys that kind of thing. So I just wonder, like, what's going on in his little mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think to in the Your Name, the scene where I forget what Taki's looking for a job, and he's talking to the architect people that he wants to make a place where people can grow up in and make warm memories and stuff like that. And for a moment, I was always wondering if that's like the writer or the director speaking about why he does the things the way he does, you know.
Yeah.
But
So there's this new one I was reading called observation of my fiance, a self-proclaimed villainess.
I thought it was fiance's observation log.
Yes, a fiance's observation log of a self-proclaimed villainess. It's wonderful. It's spectacular. It's hilarious. So she gets isekai'd. The whole thing is from his perspective, though. She's the one who gets isekai'd. and she's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna be the best villainess to make sure you get your happy ending, and you can boot. Once the time comes, I'll be booted off stage left, and you guys will be able to live happily ever after."
How noble.
Yes, but the thing is, she's too nice.
Oh,
and
she's
too
terrible at being
kind-hearted.
bad.
So, like, at one point, she gives him a log of all of her evil deeds. It's like her diary. So he gives. She wants him to use it against her.
Yeah.
And
hilarious.
he's reading it, and he's like, was mean to a maid by like dropping a cup, but like the maid thought she was doing it for her sake because the cup was already chipped. But the maid was the one who chipped it, so the maid thought, she's covering for me. Things like that. It's like she's bad at being bad.
It's like, but it seems like life is helping her to not be bad too.
Apparently, yes.
Or this isekai, whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
You told us before about manhwas where the world is kind of working against the plans of the main character because she's supposed to get with the person, and so things fall in place to make you end up with the person. So it's like, is that happening in here, or is that not happening?
No, that's not happening.
Okay.
So she gets isekai into what she believes is the otome game, which is like story game. So she's trying to follow the plot because she knows that it's gonna get a happy ending, but the things are, it's just the world now. So if she makes a tiny change, everything changes because life, you know. So she's also kind of dull,
Oh.
a bit of a dull light bulb, you know what I mean? But her fiance is like super genius. He aces everything the first time. He's super bored with life, and then this one person comes in and is like, "I'm a villainess. Don't worry, I'll be the best villainess ever." He's like,
Okay.
his reactions to everything is hilarious because he keeps a constant smile on his face.
Yeah.
So like all of his reactions are internal. So he's just like, "What the hell?" But he has a regular smile on his face. It's really funny. But of course, there's also like the sequel afterwards called an observation log of my wife, a self-proclaimed villainess. Yeah.
Oh.
So the story, it was good enough to get a sequel apparently, which I'm happy about. I'm like 3/4 of a way through the first one.
Sounds really cute.
Yeah, it is really cute. It's really entertaining as well. But yeah, and she's still navigating. She's like trying to figure out how to have like the events, you know, like story
trigger the events,
trigger
yeah.
the events. She's trying to make, like, she calls him to a certain place at a certain time to meet the heroine and all that, and because she told him all this already, he knows why she's doing this, and he's just like, I'm just gonna ignore that woman over there. You don't see her sleeping under the tree because that's supposed to be like the meet cute of him and the heroine.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's like not interested. But the heroine seems, we learn later, it's pretty obvious that she knows that she is also in an Otome game.
Oh.
So she knows the plot as well.
So she's mad that it's not working
So
out for her.
she's like under the trees, like coughing, and you see like them. He finds her, his fiance, hiding in the bushes because she wants to watch. And he's like goes over, talks to her, and like you see the coughing in the background, is like all over the screen. The heroine is like going around trying to like get other people to like her and talking bad about the girls that they're with, and all of them hate her now.
Oh no.
But yeah, she eventually makes this big stink. Accuses the fiance of treason, basically. But of course, the smart Crown Prince
No,
is like
for that.
he's already planned all of this out. We get glimpse into what the original game was like, and we see the Prince's internal monologue is like, this is a new interesting toy. So like he doesn't really feel the same type of emotion as he's feeling now in the new route, in the new world with his crazy fiance. But he's like, you can kind of tell like this is the better
Better
version.
story.
Okay.
But the villainous fiance, is still too stupid to figure that out. So he kind of has to. He's coerced her now into stopping all that.
This sounded interesting for a while, and then I realized, yeah, this ain't for me.
I like it.
You would enjoy it as a comedy because it's not a drama.
Okay.
It's very funny.
I mean, that's better because I just, as you know, I hate seeing any type of anime or media where there's two people who like one person because you know one person is going to get heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
I hate seeing that. So knowing even that it's the heroine who was supposed to get them, just like, I hate that. But the way you're setting it up.
Yeah,
it
she
sounds-
doesn't really like him. Yeah, he solely likes his fiance. He finds her, as he first said, very interesting. He's his interesting toy.
Yeah.
Basically, because the whole world is
It's
boring
just
to him.
boring, yeah, because he's too smart.
Psycho.
Psycho. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was going towards that route. In fact, in some of the glimpses of the other routes, or what the villainous fiance was telling him, the other routes ended. In every other world, my guess, it hasn't said this yet, my guess is that he incites a war because he's just so bored.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, because anytime the war starts, you see him, he's still smiling.
Oh.
He's got the blank smile. He's like cutting people down in the war. He joins the front lines.
Of course, yeah. He
And
did
he's
it.
still
He did it.
smiling. He's still bored.
He did it.
Yeah.
And it's just a manga, right?
Yes, I believe this one's a manga.
I wish I could read Japanese more better because I'm trying to start like looking out for very light-hearted consumables for Japanese like to listen to because and it has to be simple at the same time, which is hard with on anime because there's always some like topic that they have to go super deep on for no reason,
this is true.
you know. So it's hard to use anime for that, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here, guys. Guys, if you like Timer, please leave a like, subscribe. If you want to see more, remember you can see the Patreon down below. If you want to see the next one of these 2 weeks ahead, or if you want to see your name a month early, it was up on Patreon, or anything else that we do. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the city. Goodbye.
Bye.